When people talk about Star Trek Enterprise, it often gets brushed off as the forgotten series. It ran from 2001 to 2005, and it was the first prequel in the franchise, set about 100 years before Kirk. It showed humanity's very first steps into deep space with the Warp 5 engine. Ooh, yes, back when Warp 5 was considered fast. Archer wasn't the polished diplomat like Picard, or the smooth operator like Kirk. He was a little more emotional, sometimes impulsive, and honestly, that's what made him interesting. He was learning on the fly, making mistakes, and carrying the weight of representing humanity for the first time. Basically, Archer was the guy driving the rental car with no insurance, trying not to hit any Vulcans on the way. The Vulcan dynamic in Enterprise is one of the most overlooked parts of the series. Vulcans weren't the patient mentors we see later. They were cautious, controlling, and frankly kind of condescending. That constant tension showed how early humans had to prove themselves worthy of being taken seriously. In other words, the Vulcans were like that older cousin who says, "Fine, you can play, but don't touch anything and don't embarrass me." Now let's talk about Season 3, the Xindi arc. This was Trek's first full season war arc, after Earth was attacked in the pilot episode, The Expanse. Archer and his crew had to stop the Xindi from building a super weapon. The tone got darker, the morality got complicated, and for the first time, Star Trek leaned heavily into serialized storytelling week to week. It was basically Enterprise saying, look, if 24 can do it, so can we, but with more blue aliens and fewer terrors. And even though Enterprise stumbled with its first 2 seasons and the finale, These Are the Voyages left a lot of fans cold. It still filled in some huge gaps in Trek lore though. It showed the early steps toward the Prime Directive, the foundations of the United Federation of Planets, and even gave us the canonical reason why Klingons look different in the original series versus later shows. Yeah, because nothing says Star Trek like explaining alien forehead wrinkles in extreme detail. Looking back now, Enterprise feels less like the odd one out and more like an essential chapter. Without Archer, T'Pol, Trip, Hoshi, and the rest of the crew, there's no Federation. There's no Kirk. There's no Picard or Janeway. The dream of Star Trek had to start somewhere. Messy, raw, and far from perfect. Kinda like my diet. Ambitious at first, then a lot of mistakes. But eventually, I'll get there. So when someone dismisses Enterprise as a misstep, remember, it gave us the story of how humanity stumbled, learned, and finally earned its place among the stars. And for that, it deserves a lot more respect than it usually gets. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.